Just an average house on an ordinary street? Well, no, actually, it's the House of Horrors in Birmingham. And here's Jean, the pensioner who lures in the con men. And here's our house near Heathrow Airport, home to the rest of our undercover team who are posing as cabin crew. And there's me, Captain Jonathan Maitland, at your service. So, a fabulous team poised to catch the rogues on the mega multi-camera setup that is House of Horrors. It's the last show of the series, and tonight I'll be catching up with one of the con men who didn't get away with it.
You do understand, by not saying anything, everybody's going to think that you're a lying, thieving scumbag.
And we're going to meet the vicar who's been had by a rip-off of biblical proportions.
It was a classic con, and I was conned, and you feel very silly about it, and you feel very embarrassed about it.
And in the house tonight, have we been rumbled at last?
I think there's someone in there.
In where?
In the room.
At our London house, the team are getting set for our next visitor. Undercover agent Julie is playing air hostess. She heads off to the airport, leaving her housemate, French heartthrob Jeremy, taking a shower. Steady on, ladies. But the water's just a dribble. Looks like expert plumber Colin Top is in the house.
Colin! Well, he's not a happy bunny, is he?
Well, what have you done?
Not very much. I've just turned off this little control knob here so that the water flow is reduced, so the water doesn't get up to the bathroom.
So it's just a question of putting the knob to the on position?
That's it, that's all it is.
So any plumber worth his salt would spot that in seconds.
We call him Plumbing and Drainage Quality Services Limited, otherwise known as PDQ. They're based in Bournemouth but operate all over the country. Colin and I take a front row seat in my bedroom HQ as Jason rolls up.
Good morning.
Mama.
Jeremy.
Hello, mate. All right.
Come in. I've got a little problem. When I want to use the hot water, it's running really, really slow. So it's kind of pretty problematic. When I want to have a shower, I'll show you. That's the best I have.
It's looking good. Plumber Jason heads straight to the kitchen for the source of the problem, our boiler.
He's found the fault and fixed it. Looks to be in record time.
I think that's about 6 minutes.
That's good going.
So it should be time for the bill. PDQ charge £39.50 for every half hour, so that's all we should pay. But Jason is in no hurry. He's more interested in explaining the workings of a combination boiler.
It's a mains pressurised system. Okay. It has no way of topping itself up. Okay. You put water into the system and it's sealed. Okay, but because...
Fascinating. But as we know on House of Horrors, talk is never cheap. 10 minutes after fixing the problem, Jason's still here. He's now 16 minutes into the visit, and we thought we'd just see how long he could spin it out for. Jason's now on the subject of cleaning out our heating system. Extra work we don't need doing.
You have to clean it out every couple of years to make sure that the pipework doesn't all get blocked up and the radiators get blocked.
Okay.
You can't tell whether a heating system needs cleaning out until you actually look at the water. And he hasn't checked any of it yet. In fact, he hasn't even switched it on.
It's about a £500 job, including the chemicals and including all the labour.
Okay.
You've got to laugh, haven't you? He's saying your central heating system needs cleaning. Oh, and by the way, I can do it for you.
Jason seems to be winding up. Jeremy says he'll get back to him on his offer to clean our central heating. But in the meantime, how much is the bill for today?
It's $39.50, yeah?
No, you're just over the top, sir. 1 hour.
What? We're 3 minutes over.
All right.
1 hour charge.
Which is how much?
$39.50 per half an hour.
Okay.
All right. $92.82 in total.
Well, there is a surprise. And he's charged for another half hour of rubbish.
Probably money well spent, because if you didn't, and you didn't have this conversation with me today,
it's good.
You've had a lot of good advice today, right? Okay.
And Jason is still trying to convince us that we need our central heating system cleaned out.
it looks a fairly new system.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm looking at the pipework, the radiators, the boiler, it looks all nice and new. Alright? But just don't take it for granted that it's working fine on the central heating system, we know.
We know our central heating system's fine because Colin's checked it, unlike Jason, who didn't bother. But he's so keen to get his hands on it, we decide we'll call him back once Colin set another simple fault.
Just drain a drop of water out the heating system so that there's air in the top radiators, so that when the heating comes on, the top of them's cold.
So is it easy to fix?
It's very easy, it just needs refilling.
So it definitely doesn't need cleaning out?
Not at all.
But when Julie, posing as Jeremy's girlfriend, calls Jason and describes the problem, Jason is still trying to persuade us otherwise.
So what would happen if I didn't have this, if it wasn't flushed, like in time, what would happen?
You're not going to have any central heating time the winter comes. You're not going to have any radiators.
Really? Do you reckon that soon?
Well, yeah.
Well, no. So how much is he going to charge us for a job that doesn't need doing?
What I wanted to say to you is, obviously, the initial time that we first come round to your house, right, okay, was with a company of PDQ, from which I subcontract.
Right.
Okay, but obviously with the doing of the radiators the second time, I wanted to know if you wanted to go direct with my company to have that done, for which I could offer you a better price.
Oh, right. Okay.
Hang on. Looks like Jason's gone freelance.
The pricing for PDQ services with regards to the power flush and the cleaning of the central heating system is £525 plus VAT.
Right, okay.
All right, okay. With us, it's £450. Okay, and that's included.
Including that?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so there's a bit of a difference there.
Yeah, certainly is.
We invite the newly freelance Jason back to the house. Will he check the system and just fix the fault we've set?
How are you doing? Yeah, I'm alright.
Or go right ahead with his nice little earner cleaning it out? What do you think?
That might be the best rad to go on, because one of the radiators has to come off.
Really?
Straight away, Jason's talking about cleaning out the system.
The job doesn't need doing at all. And he didn't even bother to check when he came the first time to see whether it needed doing, so it's just pure invention. He's intent on cleaning the system, and I think that's what he's going to do.
Jason says he needs access to the radiators in all the rooms, but he can do the job without it. Jeremy shows him round.
The one in the bathroom.
But there's a problem. He can't get into all the rooms because this front bedroom is occupied by us. Jeremy's cover story is that it's a lodger's room and the lodger's locked the door and gone out.
I don't have his keys.
Don't have his keys?
Yeah, he didn't leave them. That's a problem?
Yeah, because we can only, when we're cleaning, we have to just do one radiator at a time.
Is that true?
So there's no way you can do it otherwise.
Well, I can, but it was just, I can't guarantee I want to clean that radiator.
He doesn't seem to want to take no for an answer.
And now he's worked out that the door is bolted from the inside.
It's not locked there. Look.
Yeah.
So how's he lock that?
I have no idea, man. He's at work, man. He's at work.
That door is not locked. That door is not locked.
I'm gonna give him a call, try to see if he can come later.
All right,
no?
okay.
Can we just get on with the rest of the radiators?
Yes, okay. I'll start bringing some stuff in here.
Jason finally gets down to the job in hand. First, he takes off our kitchen radiator.
Here he is, we're off. He hasn't even bothered to switch the system on and check it yet.
Jason attaches his flushing unit to our outside tap and starts pumping water through the system via the radiator pipe in the kitchen. But he's still got a bee in his bonnet about that locked door upstairs. He goes for another little snoop.
There's someone in there.
In where?
In the room.
It's impossible. Because I saw him leaving this morning.
Yeah, but I think there is definitely someone in there.
What do you mean?
Well, I just heard it.
Jason says he's heard a female voice. Must have been our producer who's operating the cameras.
Well, there's definitely someone in there.
Yeah.
I'll put my life on it. That's how confident I am. I just heard her. But is she okay? So she's not okay, then that's why she's not opening the door.
So the non-existent lodger now has an imaginary girlfriend.
Nikki.
Called Nikki.
If you are in here, are you all right?
Saved by the bell.
Hello.
It's the control room. Just tell him the lodger and his girlfriend had an argument and Nicky's now sleeping it off in the bedroom.
Well, I don't know what happened last night. He was a bit aggressive about it, but he said to me, do not just, yeah.
Fair enough.
Give that boy an Oscar.
Let's hope he hasn't killed her, eh?
Huh?
Let's hope she's not dead.
While the system's being pumped through, Jason has a couple of hours to kill. He spends his time putting the House of Horrors under scrutiny. We think he's looking for cameras. He goes back up to the bedroom and checks out some cable on the stairs. But he doesn't find anything really incriminating.
Okay.
It's all sorted. Hold on. All right, cool.
Well, we haven't been rumbled, but we have been stung again.
There you go.
Thanks very much,
Perfect.
Jeremy. Okay.
So I'll give you a call, yeah,
Any
if I get
problems
it,
at all,
yeah.
just give me a ring, Jeremy.
No worries.
We contacted PDQ, who told us that the plumbers working for them are closely monitored and they treat all complaints very seriously. When we contacted Jason, he said the time he spent at the house was charged fairly and our system did need cleaning. He didn't apologise and he didn't offer us our money back. So Jason, you are named and shamed. After the break, I'll be catching up with an old mate.
You do understand, by not saying anything, everybody's going to think that you're a lying, thieving scumbag.
Throughout the series, we've opened our doors to a delightful bunch of rogues.
Got some work for you.
How are you, Mrs. Dundee? All right?
Hi, Mrs. Donna, how are you?
Most of them do a bodge job.
I can see the water level itself dropping now.
I think it's what you call porcupines.
Now try and put it in on punch job. Now put the test on. That's too smart.
Bodge job. You know that, don't you? Bodge job. It's like something out of Sesame Street.
You said it.
They're about 120 quid.
How much?
Oh yeah. Right, if we're going now. Do you better deal if you want to pay cash?
He wants a bit of that. Yeah. Don't worry. It's not your money, it's ours.
That's right. Can I get a receipt for this?
You can, but
right.
I'll put it in, but you won't, you'll get it next week.
I can't get one now.
Well, if you want to, I've got nothing, you know, they're done in the office, you see.
There's people out there that just can't be trusted, Mrs. Dunn, and I do tell you, make sure you keep your doors locked and don't call strangers into your home.
Here on House of Horrors, we make sure that all the dodgy traders we invite to our house get named and shamed. Do you mind? But it doesn't always end there. Some of the worst offenders end up in prison.
How you doing, Ross? All right? Yeah,
Like one of the stars of the last series, known to us as Mr. Blobby. We couldn't reveal his identity at the time because he was facing criminal charges, but now he's been sentenced, all can be revealed. Take a good look at him. Gary Seabrook. He's a serial con man. This house in Bexhill-on-Sea was home to retired nurse Wendy Burbage. One day she called a plumber to unblock her drain. Gary Seabrook turned up and told her it was a really expensive job. The 73-year-old handed over more than £5,000, her life savings, and then she confided in her cousin Brenda.
She rang me the next day when she realised that she was paying over the odds for what should have been a simple job. So she said, "Oh, Brenda, I've done a very, very silly thing." She said, "I've been conned, in other words."
Trading Standards investigated. They said it was a massive rip-off. Wendy should only have paid around £100. She began legal action against Seabrook, but her health deteriorated.
She did change from being a very sunny-natured, happy person to being very worried about what had happened to her.
Just over a year later, Wendy died. still fighting to get her money back. Now, you'd think that being questioned by trading standards about conning Wendy Burbage out of her life savings might have made Gary Seabrook think a bit. Time to mend his ways, perhaps. Well, I'm afraid not. He was soon back to his old tricks. Only this time, the house he came knocking at was the House of Horrors. We called him to fix our toilet. We'd loosened a nut in the cistern so it didn't flush properly. He fixed it, but then decided to unfix it by loosening the nut again. He went on to stretch the job out with a fairy tale about needing new parts.
I shoot out the road, get the part. It's just a matter of disconnecting everything, stripping it down and going from there.
In total, he charged us over £400 for a job that took seconds to fix.
Yeah, don't go giving your money away.
When we told him he'd be appearing on House of Horrors, he refused to say anything to us. But the law caught up with Gary Seabrook, and 4 months later he was in court for 6 counts of deception, including Wendy Burbage's £5,000 bill for unblocking her drain. While he was awaiting sentencing, I went to meet him.
And are you going to apologise to people for what you've done? You do understand by not saying anything, everybody's going to think that you're a lying, thieving scumbag.
He's entitled to not say anything. He's waiting.
Yes, but the family who he ripped off are entitled to hear what he's got to say now.
He's been said, I'm not a scumbag, all right?
Well, how would you describe someone who ripped someone
Well,
off,
I'm
who was
just
an old
telling you
lady
now.
on her own for £5,000? What words would you use to describe yourself then? I think we can draw our own conclusions.
In April 2004, Gary Seabrook got 2.5 years in jail. He's still there. Good job too. And finally, to Charlestown in Cornwall. We're gathered here today to hear a cautionary tale of trust, lies, and tarmac.
It was a classic con, and I was conned, and you feel very silly about it, and you feel very embarrassed about it, but it happened. You can't turn the clock back. But what I want to do is to warn other people about it so that it doesn't happen to them.
Father John was preparing for morning service when a stranger arrived offering to tarmac the church pathways. Now, Father John should have been on his guard from the word go, because you should never, ever trust anyone who just appears on your doorstep offering their services. The moment you come face to face with a cold caller, warning bells should start ringing. This is the van they turned up in. Looks convincingly official, but it's not.
He said that he was working with the Highways Agency. He'd just finished a job with the local authority, with the local council, and that he got some tarmac left over. He had an identity badge around his neck. We thought that he was bona fide.
The gang got to work. Now, Father John hadn't agreed a set price for the job, but the man had said they'd do it for £22 a square metre. So Father John figured that doing all the church pathways should cost around £500. The gang left, saying they'd be back the next day for the money. The following morning, a different member of the gang arrived. He said the bill was a massive £5,000.
They then said that they would give us 24 hours to pay, and by doing that they would give us a discount which would lower it to £3,700. It was at that point that I really knew that we had been had.
Father John had fallen for some of the classic con tricks. Number 1, they dressed smartly. Number 2, they had an official-looking badge. Number 3, they had an official-looking vehicle. Number 4, they had a plausible cover story. In this case, they were working for the council. And number 5, they offered a big discount. And finally, the big one, they didn't agree a final price, a final set price. Now, I don't want to preach. That's Father John's job. But if you don't want to get ripped off, you shouldn't be too trusting. Father John had 24 hours. He used it wisely. First stop, the local solicitors. They told him he'd have to pay up, but only what the job was worth. Next, trading standards. They valued the work not at $3,700, but at most $1,500. And they promised to send an officer along for the showdown the following morning.
I also visited our local police station. They did agree to come along to keep peace and order, because I was quite scared that this bloke could turn on me when I was only going to offer him £1,500 instead of £3,700.
night fell on the parish.
I didn't get much sleep the night before, and the next morning I was quite nervous. Nervous because I was having to meet this bloke. Nervous because I didn't know what his reaction was going to be, whether he was going to be violent or whatever. And also nervous that all the people who promised they'd come along at the said hour would actually turn up and I wouldn't be left with him by myself.
Father John's insurance was a hidden camera.
We had, over the road, sitting in a car, our secret cameraman ready to film the event.
The trading standards officer arrived. Minutes later, the tarmac contractor turned up and filming began. The tarmac rip-off merchant, Leslie Smith, is the guy in the middle.
We walked out to the lich gate of the church and the trading standards officer asked the gentleman for his name and address. The contractor said he would only give his name and address to a police officer. At that exact moment, the local policeman arrived in his car over the road, and so I just chapped his shoulder and said, well, the police are here, so you're all right. As I said that and he turned around and saw the police car, the look on his face was quite magical. It was incredible. He realised then that he'd been at.
Father John gave him the £1,500. Leslie Smith was held by the police for 4 hours, but released without charge.
So it's a bit of a case of Lord forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Well, they do know what they do, and the whole thing about forgiveness is that you're forgiven when you say you're sorry. And I'm quite prepared to forgive if they say they're sorry.
So, the moral of this story. Love thy neighbour by all means, but never trust cold callers, eh? Here endeth the lesson. And this series of House of Horrors. If you know of a dodgy trader who deserves to be caught on camera, or if your home has become a House of Horrors, contact us at houseofhorrors@granadamedia.com or call 0901 3311 111 and leave a message. We'll get ripped off so you don't have to.
The news is next here on ITV1. Then at 7, talking House of Horrors, Debbie steps in to save the Dingles in Emmerdale. And after that, Angela has more covering to do in Coronation Street.